Hey, happy Tuesday to you. It's hard to believe today is September 17th. It's like half the month of September's already gone. Like it feels like we were just ending summer a couple weeks ago. And now like we're deep into September. So kind of crazy. We have a scripture today and it's not intended to like scare you, but like, it should in a good way scare us. So you'll see what I mean. Here you go. Psalm 109, a Psalm of David. It says this: "May the Lord always remember these sins, and may his name disappear from human memory, for he refused all kindness to others." In case you couldn't tell, King David took kindness seriously. To most of us, David's prayer in Psalm 109 seems a bit severe and maybe even a little overkill. To ask God to erase someone's name from human history because he refused kindness to others? Really? But when you look at David's life, you realize that it was marked by kindness. He went above and beyond to show kindness to all people, even his own enemies. To David, there was no other way besides kindness. In fact, David would probably argue that a person's legacy should depend on their kindness toward others. Ironically, we really don't know who David was referring to in this psalm. Either way, it's a powerful reminder to each of us that refusing kindness to others is a black eye of sorts on our testimony and the name of God. So remember, God honors those who are kind. Yeah, wow, like this is pretty powerful. And again, you got to think about the fact, like, this guy, this person, whoever David was talking about, like, we don't really even know who he is. So maybe God did answer David's prayer. And this should, like I said, this should scare us in a good way. Like, because kindness really mattered. David was all in on it. Like, David was incredibly kind. But what's crazy about this psalm is that he's not saying, oh, blot out his name because the guy wasn't kind to me. David says, blot out his name because he wasn't kind to anyone. He wasn't kind to others. Like, it had nothing to do with David and everything to do with everyone else. You see, like, kindness is about how we treat other people. And sometimes we're like, oh yeah, God, like, reject that person because they were mean to me. But it's not about that. It's about, us and like, and how we treat other people. And so, I think one of the things, like, the takeaways for me is like, God honors those who are kind. And when we are not kind, it taints our legacy, it taints our impact, it taints our testimony, and it taints God's name. Because if we love Jesus, if we follow Jesus, if we're followers of God, then we should look like God, talk like God, act like God, and show kindness like God. And so the best thing that I can do is to try to mimic God in that way, and show kindness even when it's difficult or even when it doesn't make sense, because the consequence of not showing kindness is too great or too significant. So yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are, but feel free to write a comment or drop a note and let us know. And then we'll be back here tomorrow for day number 18.